And then I also want Jordan Brown.
Yes, guys, I'm your boy Jordan Antonio Brown back here again, and this is Half a Yard podcast. So why the name Half a Yard? It's in the name, to be honest. Like half a yard, I'm in the box. You know what I mean? You give me half a space, I'm gonna score. So that was given to me by my boys from my ends, and it's stuck with me ever since in football. So you'll be hearing that a lot of innuendos around half a yard. So who am I? My name is Jordan Antonio Brown. I'm 28 years old. I've played a career in 4 or 5 different countries. It stems back from starting my career or my youth career at Arsenal 8s, and then I went to 16s. I got bought by West Ham for £250,000, and I've made one first team appearance in the Europa League over there. After that, I played in Hanover 96 in Germany. Then I played in Iceland. I played back in England, but I didn't actually make an appearance for Barnet in League Two. And then after that, I went to Canada, and that's pretty much where, you know, my career reignited itself, and I made history over there. It actually was a history-making year, to be honest. It was the first ever season in the Canadian Premier League, and I played for the first ever team for Cavalry FC. Also, not to mention, I scored the first ever goal for Cavalry FC, among other big goals. After that, it was COVID times. I was there for a couple of years. I returned back to Europe, and then I played for a team called VfR Ireland in the 4th division of German football. I went to Iceland, I went back to Canada, and here I am here after 2 years of not playing football. I am back here speaking to you guys. So just to give you a little background, this season I've got back into football for the first time in 2 years. I'm at a team called Egham FC, and we're top of the league currently. We're about to win it with 2 games left to go. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we cross off those 2 games and we get that win and that gold medal around my neck. So Baller League, how did it come about? My boy Ilyas, he's one of the coaches for Sharky's team. He shouted me and he said, yo, you got to sign up to this, man. It's going to be big. So I seen the adverts, I seen the promos. I was like, you know what? I don't really know. I'm not too sure. There's some big names in this. I'm not going to lie. And you know, you want to be involved in something like this, but you don't know about the quality that's going to come on the pitch. So I didn't really want to associate myself with, I don't want to say it, but mid-level football. I kind of done that already, and I wasn't enjoying my football. So, you know, I said, you know what? I'll apply for it. I went to the showcase game, even went there. I nearly actually drove my car around because I was kind of hesitant. There are a lot of things going through my mind, you know, even if it was like what it was, like who's picking, who's going to be the people behind the scenes picking, selecting the players. I had no idea. But once I got to the door and I saw some familiar faces who are ballers, I said, you know what, I have to be a part of this. So how the trials worked, it was 7-a-side. I think we're playing 6-a-side at Baller League, so very familiar. We got separated into different teams. I think there was probably about 6 different teams and stations. And then, yeah, there was a few different other drills, like 1 versus 1 drills, 3 versus 3 section, and also agility drill when you're going around cones. I actually won that. I got the fastest time of the day. I think it was 9.04 seconds. You go around some mannequins or poles, and you got to make it through the gates that are tracked, and they track your speed. So after that, you know, you're waiting, you don't know who's going to get selected. They selected 3 people straight to the draft, and they made it to the Monday night draft, which you saw on YouTube not too long ago. So waiting around, like I said, don't know if the email is going to come through, if they're going to even send something. I don't know how many people are going to get picked for this. I don't even know how many teams there are. I have no idea, you know. Finally, I get a message from one of the organizers, Marcel. He's very big in this space, and, you know, he told me that I'll be part of the draft night. So my draft day experience, how did it go? So I woke up, had a little smoothie, you know what I mean? Got ready, had to do a bit of coaching. I do a bit of coaching at school on Mondays. And then I made my way down to London, went to link my boy, Romario, who films a lot of the stuff we do and you're going to be seeing on here. and we went down to the Copper Box Arena. Ironically, West Ham had a game the same day, and they actually play very close to the Copper Box Arena. So, you know, I was amongst some West Ham fans. No one recognized me. I only played one game, remember? So, you know, I'm not really a big name like that. But hopefully after this, you know, you're going to be hearing a lot about me. So, walked through the Olympic Way, I think it's called, went to the Copper Box Arena, and, you know, that's where the player entrance was. So, player entrance, you see all the players lining up. I see another line of familiar faces, some nervous faces, some excited faces, some confident guys, some guys who don't know what's going to happen, asking questions and whatnot. We don't know, you know, we're all in the dark. Same as you guys probably before watching this video. So yeah, it was a good experience, to be honest. It kind of brought me back to like that kid again, where I was kind of like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a bit excited. I'm a bit nervous. But so we made it to the front of the line, made it to, you know, get greeted by a couple of the organizers for the Baller League, and they gave us some of our merch. So what I'm wearing actually right now is what we got given on draft night. It's very cold, so maybe I might put my hood up right now. And yeah, some of the merch, as you can see here, there's a jacket, there's some tracky bottoms, and we got some trainers and some Astros that we'll be wearing actually on game day. Those are very flat, and I think they'll actually be good for the pitch because we can't really wear molds because it looks a very slippery surface. So made it through, got changed, and then made it into the building. Once you got into the building, they're sponsored by Wingstop. They offered us some food. I didn't eat, you know, I don't know if it was the nerves or if it was like, you know, just like I wasn't really hungry, but made it to the bleachers. And the first person I actually saw come down from the bleachers was John Terry, and he was sitting with some of the boys having a conversation with them. John Terry, from what I know, is very familiar with the youth in England, and he's up to date with a lot of names, a lot of big names who made their debuts in first teams, and some players who actually didn't. So yeah, it makes actual sense John Terry being involved in this. So moments before the draft, you know, I'm sitting by a guy called Coach Kane. I don't really know anyone who I'm sitting next to. Kind of in the dark, don't know what's going to happen. I see my boy come through. I ain't seen him in a year and a half. I grew up playing with him, Jerome Sinclair, England youth days, and I had to jump over a couple seats to make sure I get my seat next to him because I didn't know how long this was going to be, and we had to catch up. So me and him having a lot of dialogue throughout the whole draft, and I was sitting next to him, Michael Falevi and Bailey Brown alongside Navid, who's on Wembley Rangers, I believe, Ian Wright's team. So all of us were having a good conversation, a good chinwag, and getting to grips of how this thing's gonna work, our kind of predictions, you know, our past careers, you know, other things as well, which we'd love to share with you on this pod right here. So the draft, how they did it is presentation, a lot of production problems people were mentioning at home. I wasn't watching and I wasn't really aware of it. I thought it was going quite well, to be honest. I didn't really see any issues except like people were getting their names called. I think how to fix that issue next time, if you have the earpiece in where people in the actual floor can hear it, because I think us in the stands, we could hear what was going on. The people at home and the people obviously picking the teams, the managers, they couldn't really hear. So they were like double naming players. So one player already got picked and they would name them again. So yeah, I think that issue will get fixed in the future, no doubt, because this is a big production and they got big names in this and a big budget. So my boy, he got picked before me. My other boy, Bailey Brown, he got picked for Sharky's team. I'm kind of left with Michael and Navid, and we're like, what's going on, man? Like, do these guys not know what they're doing? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, are we gonna get picked? Are we not? We're kind of counting their heads behind us. So literally, I think my mum even mentioned it to me. Like, am I gonna get picked? She was kind of getting sick and tired, like waiting. Before you know it, my name gets called by my guy Manuel from my ends as well. Grew up, you know, not too far from me, Alperton Goals as well, where we had the showcase game, and he's part of Top Ballergram. So I'll be playing with himself and I'll be playing with Figo. Pause. That was crazy. don't edit that out, but yeah, that was crazy. Pause. I'm not playing with no one, but I'll be playing on his team, yeah. But Ballon d'Or winner Figo, I mean, I don't even need to say his accolades, to be honest. Like, if it wasn't going to be Figo's team, though, I would have liked to be on Sharky's team, because Sharky, obviously, he's from the ends. He picked a lot of the boys that I know who I grew up playing with and was at my showcase game. So also his boy Ilyas and my boy Ilyas, who went to my school, he's part of the coaching staff on their team. So it would have just made sense, you know. But listen, it is what it is. You have to do what you have to do. I understand. And there's no friends in this game. He wants to win. So I hear it. But Sharky, I'm watching you, yeah? The names involved, as you can see, there was a big production. I Show Speed, he was doing a little interview in front of me with KSI, a little presentation thing. I think they were on stream as well, which was a big thing in the week. Speed, he won the 1 versus 1 challenge, or no, sorry, he was in the 1 versus 1 challenge. A guy in my team won the 1 versus 1 challenge. Maybe he might be a wild card, I think. And yeah, it was good. So I think all of that involved, just more eyes on the sport, more eyes on football. I think a lot of people, they have a lot to say about if this is going to be good, you know, who's going to watch this. To be honest, like, YouTube and football, it's a blend made in heaven. Because you see what they did at Wembley Stadium, sold it out, 90,000, 5 million viewers, I think it was, or 2 million viewers, or raised 5 million, either one, doesn't really matter, but still big numbers. Like, you cannot go against what they're doing. They're bringing eyes on the sport, bringing eyes to kids as well. Kids, they want to be YouTubers nowadays. They don't necessarily want to be footballers, because the football itself, watching it, very expensive to watch, and then also is very boring. So this, to be honest, is my element. I was kind of falling out of love with football. That's why I stopped playing football myself. This, ballers, it's just in the name, and we'll be playing with other ballers, people in very similar situations to myself in football, and it's just going to be a match made in heaven, to be honest. So guys, you know, I love you guys. Anyone who's following this page, anyone who's following my page, I love you guys. Honestly, being with me from the start, and I appreciate it. I'm doing this for you, and I'm doing this for the content. So you see the lights going down, the sunset is coming up. The sun is going down, so I need to be kind of quick doing this. Originally, I actually signed up as a defender, so I thought it was going to be good. Like, if I sign up as a defender, I'll get on the ball in my showcase game, I'll be able to play. I didn't know the talent that was going to be there, so I was kind of in two minds. Like, if I go as a forward, am I going to get the ball? Am I going to get the service? I've had that before in the past in my career. Like, some teams, they can't find me the way I want to be found, so I thought, you know what, no brainer, I'll go as a defender. I was with Ben Long in my showcase game. It was good. Didn't really concede any goals, not to think of any, and I actually scored from out the back, and we won 1-0 in that game. So I think, to be honest, it was a smart decision. But when the draft came, I was kind of lucky, because my name was down as a defender. So maybe the people who knew me, who knew I was there, they were looking for me in striker. So Ilyas says in the video we did. And, you know, they couldn't find me. So apparently I could have got drafted for another team, but I didn't, because I was down as a defender. So it worked out in the end. So I'm actually not going to complain. But to be honest, it was a risky move, and it actually paid off. But I'm one of the only strikers on my team, so I actually got to carry the line and make sure I score the goals for Treble FC.
Yes, guys, that Baller League, obviously I found half a yard with my boy Ilyas. Go way back, you know what I'm saying?
High school, man.
Yeah, so what do you make of everything that you're seeing today? Do you think that is something that could resonate with the people?
First of all, glad we didn't get to pick Jordan today. Listed as a defender, when I know he's a striker. When I'm looking through the striker list, I'm not seeing Jordan. So I'm thinking, what's going on here? So I must have thought you got picked early.
Yeah.
But with everything that's happened today, I think it's going to be really good for the culture and the ends. We've got a lot of small-sided footballers here today. A lot of like the 1v1 demons. So I think it's going to be really good. And it's going to encapsulate what the ends brings to football.
Yeah, to be honest, like, I wasn't really sure. Like, when I turned up to Alberton that time of the showcase game, I literally drove back the car. Like, I was thinking, what is this going to be? You know what I mean? Like, what type of people going to show up? But when I came and I saw the people there, I thought, you know what? This is going to work. Like, this is going to be something big. So obviously, you guys, you know, been doing your thing in the YouTube game. And I shout out you guys, especially because you're getting kids into it. Like, I do coaching. And all the kids, you know, they either want to be a YouTuber or a footballer. And I think when that message together, it's the perfect recipe.
Literally. Now you're right. All the man that we're getting, all the kids involved now. nowadays they want to be YouTubers and streamers more than they want to be footballers, rappers, or celebrities. So it's a good thing because it's taking them away from doing rubbish on the streets. And I'm happy for the youths and I'm happy for the people that are doing it for them.
So what's your involvement in SDS?
I'm one of the coaches. There's going to be 3 of us. There's going to be obviously Sharky, we've got Fuad, and we've got another guy called Nim. He's a Nottingham Forest coach and he's coached high level for 6-side football. So we're going to have a 4-man team and every game, hopefully we're going to get a win. And I'm thinking we should win the whole thing.
I was going to ask him, that was going to be my next question, but I'm not going to say that lightly because I'm on opposite teams. But
We're up now, man.
I'm up now, but it is what it is. We're still family. Bless,
boy.
man.
It's good to see you, man.
We've come a long way.
I'm going to see you match days.
100%.
I know what to do against Jordan. But if I see him as a defender, I'm happy. If I see him as a striker, I know what to do.
I think I'm a striker still. We'll see, man.
Hey, my boy.
So draft night, I was with Ian Wright afterwards. I mean, great guy, to be honest. He was giving a lot of advice. He was taking us through his backstory and also like stuff I've heard because I'm actually a fan of him and I watch a lot of his content. So it was good to speak to him. A humble guy as well, and I kind of sparked something off. I wanted to take a picture with him, and after that, he got rammed. Pause again. But yeah, a lot of people swarmed around him and then just wanted to take a picture with him. I understand he's Ian Wright and he's a big deal. So yeah, but he's a humble guy, he took his time and we actually had a good chat for like good 5 minutes. So it was really good, but I'll be seeing a lot of him. Hopefully we can get him on here, do a lot more content as well. So I have a picture of him, which you guys can see here. And yeah, it was good. After that, not just speaking with him, I went to the back room. We did some headshots, some sellies. What's my sellie? You can see it on my Instagram. A lot of, poses and stuff like that. And I met a lot of the guys who got drafted. The guys who didn't get drafted, I mean, it is a hard story and a very pill to swallow. But, your time will come again. I heard there's wildcard picks, so the story's not over. And that's actually one of the things I spoke with Ian Wright. Like, he was very upset that, some people weren't getting picked. And, it is very hard. Like, he's come up through rejection and he knows how it is. So for him, to share that sentiment and not actually be cold-hearted, it shows that his mindset, he never forgets where he's from, So I do respect that highly. Also with Ian Wright, shared a story. At Cavalry FC, I was compared by my coach, Tommy Walden Jr. I was compared to his son, Bradley Wright Phillips. So we share a lot of the same similar playing styles, and we actually play alike. And we played both in England and North America. So I remember them comparing us both, and I showed him a little graph to share with him. I'm not sure if he took it in too much, but I had to make sure that I took the opportunity to show him, like, listen, I've been watching you guys for a long time, especially I admire your sons and what they've done in the game. So, I respect the game. They paved the way for me, so I'll pave the way for the younger audience coming through.
See, we're here at Baller League with my girl Freda. Obviously, we have to bring her out. What are you saying? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm here. It was nice to see everyone get drafted today. Obviously, not everyone got drafted, but that's their business. That's life, isn't it?
It's life, innit? I mean, it's a harsh reality. Not everything can go your way. And I said before this, God willing, I do get picked, but
I know you was a bit nervous.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous.
I saw you shaking up there.
Nah. You couldn't see that from up there.
I saw him shaking.
But anyway, what were you doing over there?
What's it called again? The little one touch against the wall with the colours. That was fun. Then I had a little 2-touch session with the man. Finished him, obviously.
Okay. Any talent? You see any talent in the building? Who you rating?
There's loads of talent. You're crazy. Everyone, I think literally 98% of the room here is fully talented. Everybody here's played for academies or like League 1, League 2, League 3. You know what I mean? So it's really good.
And then we're talking about, like, obviously the female football. You got a couple of girls, like managers and that. You're saying that you might get a call up to be one of the coaches or something.
If I do that, that'd be sick. Call me. I'm available.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, cool. Front half a yard with Freda. Tap them up.
Yeah.
So I brought some influencers through. One to be Freda, and she came through. She was doing a lot of the drills with Baller League and stuff like that. She's got like 2 million on TikTok. Freestyler, played in the WSL, I do believe, and she currently plays for #United for the women's team. So it was good to see her. did an interview with her.
Obviously, I'm with my boy here, Matt. You know, got drafted in the end. To be honest, it was a bit of a sticky one. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but listen, I made it on the Ballon d'Or winner.
I think it's huge.
One of the best of all time. To be honest, like I can't really ask for more than that, can I?
No, you can't. Well, I know you were getting a little bit nervous towards the end. But look, they saved the best till last, obviously.
I appreciate that, but obviously I'm versatile. I can play either, striker or defender when I go 7-a-side. We'll see what position I do play. But for me, I was on my arse for a couple of years now. This is something that it gets me motivated. Look, if you're a player in my position, what's your mentality going into this? Something like this?
Well, I think this is an opportunity that most academy players wouldn't get. To have the audience to watch you every single week and showcase your skills. I think it would be a great opportunity to showcase your personality as well.
Yeah.
It's a very intimate pitch, 7v7. So you're going to have the opportunity to, give it to a little bit of players, give it a little bit of stick. But I think it's huge. You're going to be on TV. You're going to have people watching you. And do you know what? I'd pull out, if I was you, I'd pull out a signature celebration that gets you that recognition, that people know that Jordan has scored. And he's done that. I don't know if it's like a Why Always Me shirt, something like that. I think you need a signature move.
Maybe something new, something that's never been done before. But a player, obviously myself, who's another player who you've seen or you recognise in this draft before, like the quality is kind of high in this thing. You know what I mean? Who's someone you've seen?
Henry Lansbury.
Oh, of course.
When that name came out, I'm thinking, nah, that's not Henry Lansbury, is it? And he walks out. Jordan Noreaga, huge. Marvin Sordell. These are names that they scored Premier League goals. It's pretty huge. Do you reckon you're on their level?
100%. If I'm on the pitch, I have an ego. Off the pitch, I would consider myself a humble human being. But on the pitch, it's every man for themselves. I think I'm the best player. That's how you have to be, to be honest.
Respect.
Obviously, we play at a higher level than me, and we do respect levels. But a lot of players here have not been given a chance per se, or maybe made bad decisions along the way. So maybe they didn't get to reach levels of these type of players. But let's see what happens.
I think you're going to smash it. Yeah, I think you really are.
Right, let's talk Arsenal.
Oh no, I don't want to.
No, we're not going to do Arsenal. We're not going to do Arsenal.
We can if you want, but it's just upsetting.
No,
I might cry on camera.
But obviously Arsenal, the Arsenal connection. I used to play with guys like Alex, Awobi, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. What did you think of them?
Do you know what? Alex Iwobi was very hot and cold for Arsenal. When he was hot, he was boiling. When he was cold, he was freezing. And there was never really a middle ground there. At Fulham, especially this season, he's been consistently brilliant. Really, really good. Levels that I've never seen him at. And he's always been an entertaining player to watch, but he was also very frustrated. But I think that he's cut the frustration side out of his game now. He looks like a player that wants to always score, wants to always get forward. And he was. I always said he's got great ability, but he doesn't really have a footballing brain. And I think he's unlocked that brain now. And he's a joy to watch. Maitland-Niles, I can't really say I've been keeping tabs on him recently. But he was always a techie player. He was always good. I thought he was going to become an Arsenal.
Shall I tell you what? He kind of and Ainsley would probably agree with me. If nowadays he'd be the perfect inverted fullback type of.
I'm pretty sure that's the role that they offered him, and he didn't want that. Is that not right?
Yeah, but I think back then they were kind of playing rigid right backs and all that type of stuff. It's a different kind of era now. I think now we're playing like Rico Lewis, for example, coming into midfield. Ainsley's actually a midfielder, so
he's like a bit of a Lewis Skelly, but on the right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But left back, I think he could have done a similar job, but is what it is. He's at Lyon now. My boy Alex is at Fulham. They're both thriving. They're both happy. That's the main thing, innit?
Yeah. Both top players. Players.
But what else can we say about this event? There's millions of people, hopefully, going to be tuning in. It's going to be something very spectacular, something that, it's going to kickstart and revive a lot of careers. YouTubers, what kind of YouTubers do you want to link up with in the future?
Do you know what? I saw a few here today that I thought, I looked into their eyes and I thought, fucking hell, they are different breed, like speed, on another level. Ilyas are on another level. Angry Ginger's superb. Chunks, I just saw Chunks. He was lovely. All of these guys, there isn't a person I wouldn't want to work with apart from maybe Lee Gunner. That geezer is a total bellend.
Listen, I know who you're talking about, yeah. I'm not going to comment any more on anything you've got to say about that. But listen, I believe everyone's allowed to have their opinion. If you pay the money, you pay, you know what I mean, you're allowed to have your opinion. I understand fans and supporters, you get a bit of friction and there's two sides of the coin, but at the end of the day, as long as you want your team to win, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as a player, I always thought about, like, I don't mind fans having opinions, you know what I mean? I know players are very strong on social media and it kind of gets to them mentally, but that kind of never really got to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
No.
Well, there's a difference between having an opinion and just being pure negative. And there are a few people like that I don't rate. I don't rate that. Because if it was your son or your daughter that someone else was talking about using some of them words, that ain't on.
As long as it never gets personal. That's what I believe. I don't know if it has got personal or not, but you know, as long as it don't get personal, then for me, you're entitled to your opinion, innit?
Yeah.
Whatever comes after that, comes after that. But either way, as a player, I believe in my ability. I'm going to do my thing on the pitch. So
this is all going to be packed out. Give a little spin. Give a little spin. Everyone's going to be watching you score. They're going to be watching that.
I hear that, man.
What? Is this the biggest audience you would have played in front of?
No. I played in front of 20,000.
Okay,
so I've been on the bench behind the squad, in the squad behind the bench at Upton Park, 35,000.
Wow.
So to be honest, I'll just keep it humble. You know what I'm saying? But,
yes, man. What a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. You are the man.
Yes,
and he's going to score 25 goals this season. 25.
We'll see,
That's
man.
the number.
Yeah.
You're a legend, man.
Also did some content with Matt, and he's a big Arsenal fan. He's one of the more positive Arsenal fans. You know, I'm not going to say there's negative Arsenal fans out there, but, you know, he did call one of them out, you know, and we have the footage, which is kind of mad, but they've had, you know, their ongoings on social media, on Twitter especially, you know, back and forth. I mean, Lee Gunner, if you're in England, I know you're not in England, you're in Spain, but if you're in England, come through, man. See some ballers play, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think, to be honest, and I said it in the interview, I said, like, I don't think as a player you can actually be opposed to criticism, just as long as it doesn't get personal, you know? As me as a player, I don't mind criticism. I want to know what I've done wrong on the pitch. I want to know how I can get better for the fans and the supporters. They paying their money, hard-earned money as well, to come and watch me play. So I got to give back. I got to make sure I do my job on the pitch. Obviously, they're paying their money to come watch me and watch the team win at the end of the day. So I hear it. Obviously, Arsenal are second in the league table, you know, so we'll see what happens, you know, with all of that saga going forward. But there'll be a lot of Arsenal content on here, considering I did play for Arsenal and, you know, I do have history at Arsenal. And there's also an Arsenal team on Baller League. So you got Jens Lehmann, Freddie Ljungberg and Robert Pires. So if you want them on here, comment below. So the differences between Baller League and pro football, I mean, I can't really say too much yet because I haven't actually played in it, but it will be interesting. It will be interesting to see how we blend together chemistry. But what I can assure you, the ball will be on the ground. There'll be a lot of football being played, a lot of technical players, a lot of players who are very hungry and they want to go to the next level. So, you know, no one's actually safe, you know, week by week. There's wild card picks. You know, we're going to be playing in stadiums in front of fans and stuff like that. If the final four, you know, if people get to the final four teams, then I heard it's going to be at the O2 Arena in front of 20,000. So that's going to be massive. A lot of eyes, a lot of people watching on YouTube and TV, you know, so Sky Sports, not to mention, you got all the influences involved. So I think pressure does make diamonds. So we're going to see how people react under pressure. But yeah, this has come up, and for me, I'm hungry. Like, as when I signed up for it, like, obviously I said I wasn't sure, but as soon as I heard like this thing was happening and I went to the showcase game, after that my head was switched on. Like, for me, this is a chance to show what I'm about. Like, this is a chance to prove to people that, listen, I am a baller, I can play football. Like, not to say people didn't think that, maybe people thought I couldn't do other things, you know, I don't know what people thought, but listen, I just want to prove that, you know, my name should be amongst other names, and maybe I was forgotten about. Obviously, I did play abroad, so I hear it, but listen, man, it's enough talking. I just got to show it on the pitch, you know. Excuses out the window, nothing to say, but win, goals, that's it. Half a yard in the box, boom, goal. So guys, made it to the end of the video. I don't even know how I did it. I don't know how I did it, but finally, sorry it's a bit late. I told you it was gonna land on Wednesday, but it is what it is. We're here, made it happen. So yeah, what do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? You know, we're gonna talk a lot about different things. I'm gonna talk about the rules in Baller League. It's actually not what you think it might be. A general six-a-side game. The pitch is very big. You know, the pitch is very different. There's going to be a lot of rules towards the end of the games. The ref, I heard they're crazy. They're doing mad things on the pitch, like no yellow cards, no red cards, or red cards, and 1 versus 1, 3 versus 3, players in goal, sweeper, keeper, you can't use your hands, and all that nonsense. So we're going to actually see what happens, but it's going to be good, man. It's going to be good to see what actually happens. I think it's going to be a great time, and we're going to be putting out a lot of content for you guys, so making sure that, you know, you guys are following us on socials, making sure that you guys are tapped into what we're doing, because I swear every day I'm going to be producing content for you guys, putting it out there every day, so you won't be bored, I promise you, and you'll be a lot tapped into what happens. So maybe one of you guys watching, you actually might get a chance at this, and, you know, capitalize on the opportunity. There's a lot of eyes going to be on you, so make sure that, you know, not just on the pitch but off the pitch, you could be doing something similar to what I'm doing here. Drop in the comments what you want to see next episode. You know, maybe I'll talk about my predictions, or maybe I'll talk about players to watch as well. You know, that could be a good thing for Baller League. But who do you want me to interview? You know, who do you want me to bring up in interviews? Because there's certain players that, you know, they played with certain players and stuff like that. You know, it could be a good insight to other stories as well. So yeah, make sure you drop a comment. I'll say for the first podcast episode, we're gonna say comment half a yard, and we're out.